Amy Stark, traveling abroad. Good to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
Since my tribe is Car Care IQ, maybe a bunch of us car people want to go and do some traveling. So Amy and I have decided to do a little collaboration about how best to plan for a road trip.
I share travel tips and tricks that'll save you time, money, and frustration. And taking some of that overwhelm away will help people that really want to travel and actually do it.
Yeah. So my first question is, when I'm planning a road trip, should I start with a destination or should I start with a budget?
Well, it depends on if you are really trying to watch your money, then I think starting with the budget first is the best approach, because if you just start with the destination, depending on the destination, if it's really popular, it could be more expensive. The time of year you're going is going to affect how much it costs as well. So for a road trip and any trip that you're really trying to kind of stay within a certain amount of money, I would start with a budget first and work backwards. That way you know that you're not going to overextend yourself.
That's some great advice. I think about trying to stay within a budget. I'm a penny pincher myself. Next question I guess I have that kind of rolls right off of that one is, if I'm starting with a budget, how do I find somewhere to go that is interesting, but is not going to overextend my budget?
Well, I think first you need to know how long you are going to go away for. The time frame is going to affect the cost of the trip as well as the distance that you're going to go. You've got to figure out how much time you want to spend in the car versus how much time you want to spend enjoying your trip. So if you have a shorter amount of time, you're probably not going to go as far from home as you would, say, if you have a week. And then you're also going to want to take into consideration if you're going by yourself or if you have others on the trip with you. And if there are others, of course, you have to take their wants and needs and interests into consideration. So going to have to kind of try to find something for everybody to do to keep everybody happy.
Great, thanks. If I find a place that I like, how do I plan an itinerary on, where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Where am I going to stay? Those kinds of things.
I go on Groupon a lot. It's a coupon site, and you can go on there and you can put in the destination. It'll come up with all sorts of deals. You can get up to, I think, over 50% off on some of the things. You can find deals for restaurants. You can find deals for tours. You can find deals for bus tours, hotels. They have deals on getaways. So you can find either a trip deal or a deal on a hotel room.
Okay.
And it's great for travel.
That's good suggestion. Thanks. Say I'm going on a longer road trip and I'm not exactly sure how long I want to drive. Should I try to build an itinerary from the beginning, or if you're more adventurous, you want to just drive somewhere until I'm tired and then try to find a room?
Yeah, it depends. I'm more of a planner normally, although I did go on a trip several years ago with a guy I was dating, and the only reservation I made was for the first night because I knew we'd be really tired from the long flight. But the rest of the trip, we had a very loose itinerary, and some people, that makes them very nervous and unsettled. So if you want to plan ahead, there are tons of sites. You can use Expedia, Travelocity. I use hotels.com a lot, and they have a deal where if you book 10 stays with them, the 11th one is free. The way it works is the free room is the average of the 10 rooms that you stayed at previously. So the average price. If you book at the last minute, you can still use hotels.com. There's also a site called Hotels Tonight, which has deals on rooms that maybe people canceled, or there's extra rooms that the hotel didn't book.
What are some alternative ideas for hotels or motels?
Airbnb is popular. I use that a lot. You can rent a room. You can rent the entire place. You put those filters in when you're searching for your accommodations. You can also put in that you are looking for something kind of different. There's tiny houses for rent. There's yurts. There are tree houses. I've seen houseboats, farmhouses. You can have a really unique stay depending on where you're going and what is available in that area. You can also go camping. Camping is usually pretty inexpensive. You can go anywhere from, do anything from stay at what they call a primitive campsite, which is basically just a bunch of dirt and maybe a fire ring, to a KOA campground where they offer, regular campsites. They have small little cabins.
Yeah.
Usually you have to bring your own linens to them. And they also have bigger cabins that accommodate families, and you can also just rent a site for your RV if you have one. There are RV parks that you can rent space at. You can also find places where you can camp for free.
Great ideas. Thanks. Once I've figured out where I'm going, how do I plan a budget? And then maybe on the backside of that, how do I save money for it?
Well, planning the budget, this is what I include in the budget. So this is a road trip, so you got to decide how you're getting there. Are you driving your own car? Or are you going to rent a car? So each of those comes with their own expenses. If it's your own car, you definitely have to pay for gas and make sure that it's road ready. And if it's a rental car, you've got to account for the daily rental cost. And then you've got to account for your accommodation, meals, and then I would add in 5 or 10%, up to 15% for entertainment.
Sure.
So if you want to do stuff outside of just kind of hanging out and relaxing, you're going to want to add in some money into the budget, and then a little bit if you want to bring back souvenirs or gifts for friends and family or yourself. And if you use something like Groupon, you can definitely cut the cost down quite a bit.
Do you have any hints on how to save money on food?
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's a lot of ways you can pack a cooler full of your favorite foods. And there's some food trucks that have some really good food. You can also go to the grocery store and just buy something for your lunch. If you're out and you want to enjoy a meal, but you don't want to spend a lot, go at lunchtime or go at happy hour, or you can go dinner and split a meal with somebody.
Yeah.
Say if you stay at a hotel or motel, you can bring your own food. And just when you rent the room, make sure that it has a refrigerator and a microwave or even a little kitchenette. And then you don't have to eat out all the time. You can bring your own food, prepare your own food if you have a kitchenette, and you're controlling your budget. And, you also don't have to pay tips if you're doing something like that. So tips can add up when you go out to eat.
So do you have anything that you can share with my audience that help them plan a road trip?
Yes, I have a download. It is a road trip planning checklist. You can just make sure that you look at it, and that way you won't forget any of the steps that we discussed during this video.
I'm glad that you were able to do this interview. I'm thankful for all of the great advice that you put in here. That's next time I take a road trip, it's going to make it a lot easier.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to help.
Great. We'll get all of those in the comments for this video.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.